One, putting a very heavy pinch, 5 mid laners off.
Especially for Faker, though, Zoe, he has been one of the ones with the highest Zoe priority. It's tied for his most played here at MSI thus far. And so, yeah, they're just whittling down on the possible options here. Obviously, they're terrified of the 17-year-old Jojo.
Of course, yeah. You've got the oldest mid laner of the tournament versus the youngest player overall, of course, as well, is Galio Nocturne.
Ooh.
Might be the lock. This is still a hover on Nocturne, but Global's and side lane play.
I mean, as soon as you see Zoe, you know there's going to be a poke element, at least, for T1. And so even off one champion, they're just hard committing to dive here for EG. They see one poke champ, they're like, you know what? All right, hard engage, dive, let's get it. This is going to be first Galio of MSI for sure for Jojo. First Galio in a very long time for him as a champion as well. So very, very excited to see how EG can pull off a, double, at least semi-global composition with a lot of range. The Gwen, though, obviously going to be picked up by T1 here. Most picked top laner by far of the tournament. And Zeus has been really the only one to make people, to punish people for picking Gwen with his Gangplank. So we'll see if Impact maybe can turn it around on him. Impact himself has had quite a few counter picks come his way.
Oh, you're kidding. Goes for it again? Time's ticking down.
That
Will it be more Vi?
So it would be really counterintuitive to their comp because, Zoe, poke champion, Vi, dive champion. Yeah, so this makes way more sense here for Oner. Just kind of flexing that he is the Vi representative at the tournament.
For sure.
I do salute him for that.
For sure. To my brain, I say Senna or Ezreal into the bot lane here for Danny. I think you actually want to lock it maybe now, unless you think they're not going to ban your stuff away, because anytime you have this kind of dive, that's going to outrange your champions, right? They're trying to kill backline. They're trying to one-shot Zeus or Faker or Guma. I think GP actually totally fits here as well as one of those answers.
I just love this because this is what I'm calling out, where Zeus last time around counterpick Impact with the Gangplank into the Gwen, made him regret it. And so this is Impact's chance. Love it when we get these top laner ego battles playing both reverse side of the matchup. Of course, here's my caveat. Impact Gangplank gets 2 more globals on his team. So it's not a really fair 1v1 up on that top side. We will see where they use their globals, but again, this is massive investment in map control here for EG. 3 globals or semi-globals already drafted for them.
Yeah. It's going to be fun. Zeus was 9 when he was watching Faker and Impact win the 2013 World Championship together. Yeah. Obviously, Faker's his teammate, so he's been hanging out with him for a while, but he gave an interview.
I mean, Jojo was 7 as well, so
yeah,
he goes both sides.
I don't know if he was watching, though, right? It's not just like he was this old when it happened. He was watching as a 9-year-old, and now he's on one of them's team. He's facing the other one at, a huge international tournament. That's exciting. Rakan, Zaya, Tom Kench off the table. Again, my brain still says I want to see Ezreal or Senna for Danny as just helping to reach backline. They're the basically only 2 AD carries with globals.
I would say, though, Kaisa does really well with dive as well. So, while your Ezreal ult can come over too, I do like that, and it's more safe. Kaisa, Danny, in fact, little known fact, his early accounts all had Kaisa in the name for how much Kaisa this man played. So would be happy with either of those. But since Ezreal's banned out, I'd say my Kaisa is more likely. That
it is looking more likely, actually. That's actually a good duo lane as well. Speaking of solo queue accounts, I'm trusting Reddit replies for this one, so I didn't fact check it because, that's on me. Anyway, Danny's solo queue ID in Keria is "My life is over," which he is reportedly because he's not liking how well he's playing at this tournament, which is rough because I think he has been improving slowly during the Rumble stage. I think it was really rough during groups, but it's been getting better and better for him. So I'm hoping he finds the confidence. Jojo kind of talked about that in his interview, that he wants the team with more confidence, more engaged. So we'll see if that comes through. Kalista, Taric, I love this. Very strong duo and pretty good counter engage.
Ooh, very good counter engage. The timings work out so well when you see Galio ultimate coming down or when Nocturne turns off the lights. They actually don't lock it in for Keria, but the hover, just fun to think about there. Instead, going to be the more aggressive. Okay. This actually makes more sense, for the setup that we're talking about, for the all-ins, for the counter there. Really, really good options. And this T1 team has such good answers for scaling later on. See about the end. There it is. Come on.
Honestly,
I think it's between the Tristana or the Kaisa. I think the Jinx is no way. I think that's just a hover for the fans.
Not locked. Goes for it anyway.
No!
Jinx does not reach the dive. Now, this is definitely, this is pure Danny comfort.
Yeah.
I agree with you, it does not fit the comp. I agree with you 100%. She, like, that rocket is probably not hitting the target of Nocturne, Galio, Gangplank. Like, she is not helping with her kit. But it is a lot of comfort for the man.
Yeah. Yeah, the other two options I liked more because the Tristana would be really good for lane for jumping in on the Kalista. Of course, you then do have to worry about those Taric stuns once you're jumping in, but and the Kaisa would be better for later for those team fights, for repositioning and following up on the dive. But the man did get the Baron Steel Penta that got them here, so investing again in some comfort.
And it is cool to see T1 still believing in the Kalista. Obviously has lost a couple of games recently, but also has gotten quite a few wins. I want to see what this early game priority has done for us. One thing I always find interesting when watching pro games is just Korean solo queue is very early game focused. The surrender rate is like 40% in Korean Challenger. Like your games all end in 15 minutes. And scrims tend to be chaotic as well. So early game is really, it's really prevalent in the practice environments of these players. Stage games are almost always a little bit more slow. Kalista, of course, a great early game champion. We'll see if she translates that one in this game.
And something to highlight here for T1 as well is massive objective control, because Rend does one part, but Zoe as well, even off one item, off your Ludens, you get so much poke potential around objectives and having the flexibility to do spellbook smites for secures later. You know, a paddle star and a spellbook smite is oftentimes much better than a jungler. So Rend plus Zoe as well for zone control around it. Really excited for the Keria Taric as well, since this man, not only has he been one of the best performing supports, but so flexible in his champ pool. And this counter to dive is really some of the things that we've been looking for. You know, the evolution of the meta and the answers here at MSI. So a lot more expecting some of these counter initiation and dive champions.
Yeah, so an aggressive look on each side of the map as Keria beelines it to the bottom lane, puts a ward down in the middle. We do not yet see a trinket swap. There's one for the Galio, but no one else just yet. It is going to be Vulcan with, I think, a ward, then a sweeper on his side, which means if they sit in lane and don't leash, he can sweep the trinket before minions meet. Otherwise, though, EG did not put an aggressive ward down for their top side. They did not donate one to Impact.
And we mentioned as well the top lane ego battle of the reverse of the matchup we saw last time around between Zeus and Impact. Guess what? Zeus take Ignite this time around, so he is definitely going to have that kill threat. Does mean no Ghost on the top side, more vulnerable to ganks, more vulnerable to these globals that you can send up towards the top side of the map as well. So it's the double-edged sword of the top Ignite there. Always a contested choice.
Well, Oner knocks down the rest of his red buff solo. He will smite something at some point. Right now, EG and T1 going to do battle for the bottom side. Now, I want to point out Taric, by the way, incredibly good brawler in early laning. Once you get level 2, you can basically press your Q every 2 autos, and you have a lot of damage there as Impact and Zeus trade blows quickly. But you cannot ignore Taric in a 2-on-2, actually. He will actually carry the team fights.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, with the passive, spamming with your autos off, Vulcan doing some pretty good damage there to him as they fight it off early, though.
First for EG. Oh, no stacks.
Oftentimes, too, level 2 first to chase him down.
Yeah, I thought Vulcan had a stack. If Vulcan had a stack, that was 2 first for EG, but he already burned 2, so really good trade by T1. Guman knows there's no way I lose this one if you turn back onto me. We've got the Taric healing. Yeah. And takes a good chunk.
I like playing the Taric super aggressive in the first few waves as well, because if you can get the push, if you get control of lane, then Taric being able to recall and go get mana like an early tier or something is amazing. Because you get to spam out your spells, make use of the passive, constant healing coming through. It's definitely one of the most mana-hungry supports that we have left in the game. So is one that we see invest more in mana and less in some of the earlier survivability options that some of the other ones do. But Oner's here already.
Really dives, ignores the Q. He's so low.
He's got Ignite
nearby, but Impact's so close. The deck gets a Q heal. 130 health, might have oranges available. Inspired now, see what's going on. Do they have the fight, though? He's going to have a fear. Oner going to ward hop away. That is a long cooldown, though. 16 seconds if you don't go to a teammate with that one. So Inspired still on his way. Now, didn't take Wolves, so is not level 4 with Prugs dying. As Oner takes him away, Impact gonna try to stay alive under the tower. Doesn't have the damage to kill the cannon.
Yeah, they're getting some denial off regardless on him. This is quite nice off this pressure. Man, Zeus too with the Ignite. I thought he was going to pop it and go all in there, but Oner fishing around, can't find a Q, and EG avoid what could have been a pretty big disaster on that top side, I feel like, brewing. Regardless, T1 are ahead in gold off of their CS on mid and bottom.
19 to 21 in farm right now, and between the junglers, Impact very close with Zeus here as well. Inspired coming around, does get spotted by Ward now, but is it going to be enough in time? Nice stop on the barrel. Did they have enough though? Keep in mind, no flash, no ghost. It's going to be everything. If the Fear Tether starts, he'll finish it no matter what. So Zeus going to get some damage best he can, immunes the damage, but not the Fear itself, but will get away. Probably forcing the recall. Impact gets the wave shoved, will not be a frozen lane, gets to recall.
Yeah, and he needed this, Impact needed this help, this bailout, to get an extra timing, but T1, they saw him on the ward, so they were planning a bottom side move in response.
Good damage. Danny down to 400 HP. Here comes the dive. 4v2. They're going to get the root into Keria. Drops the turret aggro just barely. Vulcan wants one back, but he can't find the damage. A double kill for Gumayusi.
See, I want to listen in on those comms from T1 because they saw Inspired pretty early on that top play, and Zeus opted to stay up there. That was not a surprise. Oh no, you found me ganking. I barely got away. He opted to stay up there, and T1 were very, very high probability communicating, hey, we're going to make a bottom side play because we see Inspired top side. And the double roam is so big for them. Look at this. On Danny, they started out here with Keria. He then flashes away, and even with the Ignite on him and with the hook landing, Gumayusi still has the heal, keeps his support alive, and T1 get a double kill on bottom side.
13 CS lead down to the bottom side. You can see, yep, he goes for Boots 2 and the Serrated Dirk Spike to push the lead. You do not always see this on a Kalista, but this is how you take the biggest early game power spike. You're all AD ratios, all physical damage. Guma's going to be scary right now.
Definitely, definitely true. It also means that the Dragon stacking should probably start early for T1. Inspired here to answer the possible play, but this is a smart ward to see a wraparound gank. Inspired already been given up. Double roam down too. Look at the punish coming from the river. Here comes Faker.
Level 5 here on the top side. We got a bit of a fight as well. Impact wants 6. It should be soon for the two of them, but Zeus is 6. Forces the flash out of Impact. And then we got to fight to the bottom side asleep. But they've got a Galio nearby, so Jojo could always re-engage this one. Vulcan down to 350, but will stay alive. Top laner's living here as well. Impact flash was almost 6.
And that was really smart from Zeus. He chases Impact off the minion wave, so Impact can't get level 6. He chases him off the experience here, forced the flash out of Impact. Impact can't even get level 6 to add his Gangplank ultimate to the bottom side, and Zeus denies some extra gold. So even though there's no blood on the bottom side of the map, again, small little wins here from T1. Let's see what Jojo might be able to do with his first Galio ultimate, Inspired as well, approaching that level 6. So once EG get to actually utilize their globals that they have drafted really early on in this draft, it'll be their turn, and we'll see if they can make a counterplay.
Might be 6 for Inspired. I'm not sure how close he is. Krug's obviously the most valuable camp XP-wise, so it might tick him over. We can see half bar is not enough, so he's going to need to wait for the next respawn of the jungle. He's probably donating blue to Jojo, so it'll be even further delayed. Looking at the bottom side fight, nicely done. A quick stun, no follow-up really. This chopper's actually pretty well placed, but Guma gets to stand outside them. T1 feels just fine.
All right, transition down towards bottom side here for Inspired. Yeah, we'll see if he does hand it off or take it for himself. Honestly, with Galio, could be fine to just take it there for Inspired, get blue buff, and look for your first ultimate. But some deep wards already placed if we look at the mini-map from T1 over there, up kind of the little alcove brush but below blue. So if you do hover down on Nocturne, because rank 1 Nocturne ultimate is very short, and you actually do have to get pretty close to the lane, then he would be sighted. Does take that blue. Yeah, so you grab your second blue buff for the extra experience, clear out your wolves. He'll have access to it. Vulcan, can he find those wards?
Nope.
The treasure trove.
Yeah, would have been a nice little bit of gold, but not going to matter. We'll point out, bot lane has remained at a 13 CSD, so despite the item lead, it hasn't been pushed just yet. I'm not saying it has to be every 40 seconds, but it has remained flat since we first checked in off the recalls. Vamptither comes in, you got the dagger there as well, so Gumayusi on the races towards his shield bow, as Danny Still not to Noon Quiver.
Ding, ding, ding. 8 minutes into the game, Phreak. Rift Herald on the map. So guess what? Rift Herald is the target. You can see from the bottom lane recalls, they both come up, but already EG are opting to send Danny back down towards the bottom side. Now, the rest of EG then would just want to delay T1 to allow Danny to push that bottom wave into the turret and try and get a turret plate for themselves. They're not going to fight anything around here, just... I
wonder if they can even trap the rotation. Like, if you play it aggressively enough, right, you can find
Vulcan's
Guma.
going to try and delay.
Yeah, but Faker's here as well, though, so the problem is it's actually a 1v3. Vulcan, you got to be careful, bud. No one's
just a spectator. Silent spectator.
What? Wait, he flashed. He, like, actually flashed. He actually flashed and did not catch anyone with that one. That was a very strange choice.
But nobody saw it. Copium.
I saw it.
But T1 don't know that the timer's down.
That's true.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, they're going to blast going into the dragon as top plate does fall there and more money over to Zeus. They don't actually drop the Rift Herald. EG will pick up the dragon in payment.
Yeah. I mean, I think Herald is generally going to be more important, so T1, obviously, with rights to the map, they own it. They take the better of the two objectives. Jojo tries for Planet Faker, who gets away himself.
And Danny did get that one plate, that kind of price tag that has been the normal price tag of Herald, is a minion wave pushed in and the plates after. It's still definitely well worth the price for T1 to force on Rift Herald. And this has been the overwhelming focus of the teams that have been able to get to MSI is a lot on the first Rift Herald for the extra money impact, though.
Ignite, ult traded back, stays inside the bubble, gets the barrel, but it's not going to be nearly enough. Zeus wins both sides of the matchup handily.
Yeah, he says, this is how it's done. Take Ignite, buddy. What were you saying? He was 9 years old watching Impact win Worlds? Well, guess what?
Yeah.
He is here now, and he's taking him down again. Brutal stuff up there, too. He's also been able to earn 2 top turret plates, and now Gumayusi is going to be able to get a bunch of bottom ones. They've got Rift Herald as well. You want to get through the first 2 by hand if you're going to think of dropping the Herald, but with 4 members of EG coming down for the counterplay.
Decent damage, a good root, of course, can always be pulled back and will do so now, finally forcing the ult away from Gumayusi. Pretty long cooldown, but whatever, they're going to be just fine down here. 3,000 gold lead, looking really good for T1 taking care of business. All right, here we go, first attempt. They're going to find quite a bit. He will get the fear. Will it be enough, though? Galio not going to pull the ulti. Faker could have always flashed out of that circle and ultimately decides it wasn't worth the trade of cooldowns there.
Oh, yeah, not too much damage out of that Nocturne. Not very frightening, Phreak.
Nope, not really.
Faker definitely unafraid in this scenario. Drops his Ignite for a little bit of pushback threat, but that is the most underwhelming first Nocturne ultimate that I've seen in quite a while.
Ooh, I will raise you Wei, who didn't even press R2.
Yes, nope, you're right. Well, to be fair, his target was just on the edge of Fog of War, and I know that frustrating feeling as Nocturne ultimate. You're mashing it. But you're correct. That is number 1 on our list of most underwhelming.
But we got top 3. You know, we got top 3 out of that one.
Is it more underwhelming to not press the second one at all, and then they don't know that you don't have damage?
Big fight on the bottom side here. Vulcan gonna get low, able to get out of range. Likes to dub it. Oner's around. Sidestep on the Q. Danny does not juke left. Turret plate has got to have like 1 HP on it. And here's a Herald summon. And I believe with enough control, you can see him running away. This is the entire turret bot side. They've already been winning top lane. Zeus is crushing up here, but this is gonna be the entire turret in the bot lane now as well. Impact, a danger flashing away. Faker and Jojopyun in a battle here. But does he have the damage? Not really. Faker able to walk away pretty easily.
Yeah, able to fight his way out of that one. Wow. Again, both sides of the map, T1, are winning these slow, inevitable, small gains. Bottom turret ends up going down. Zeus keeps pushing on Impact, gets another wave, gets another nice, easy recall off for himself. His Riftmaker is done. Rift Herald even gets the second charge off on the second turret down here. Ha! I beat you to it, MasterCard! Thank you, though. Thank you for that. Danny's still scaling up for EG, though. They're kind of doing their pray for late going on here for EG. It is really feeling reminiscent of those old days of the slow, inevitable movement here from T1, constantly gaining objectives and advantages, though. So much gold accrued here with only 3 kills, we say. But again, Rift Herald plus all these plates that they've been able to get, just Zeus smashing up on top side. He got a couple visits from Oner, so there's a little bit of extra jungle attention, but Zeus pretty handily declaring himself, honestly, king of MSI top lane.
Yeah, he is.
This man has just been outstanding.
And maybe, you know, as we play this one forward, looking at T1 as a team overall, Zeus obviously doing an incredible job to make it this well. They're going to be up to 5-2. This is, you know, 90% a win for them at this point. EG have not found their way into anything but a dragon as a cross map. At 5-2, rematch with RNG, they could win that one. They could tiebreak for first. T1 could end the group stage, the Rumble stage, on top. Gonna try now on the top side. This is the ultis coming through. That's gonna be a lot of damage, but Taric finds the vulnerability. Danny gotta be careful for a second. They finally get one on the board, but it cost them practically 5 ultimates. Technically 4. A lot burned there, but on the other side of the map, guess what? Gwen is pushing in the bottom lane.
They do need to make some plays like this, though, if they're trying to get back into this game. Zeus, yeah, he pushes up bottom lane, but it honestly doesn't do anything because Impact's there to catch the wave, and bottom turret was already taken. So they lose 1 Wolf Camp, and they got a kill. I am definitely in favor of teams overexpending ultimates. You know, R buttons, don't care about these cooldowns. Get money now. Get paid. The dragon is coming up, so it means, yeah, without all of our R buttons, we probably don't want to fight this fight. But you already were feeling very risky about heading down into open territory versus T1 in an even numbers match. So still think it's a good call to go for that pick. Yeah, the money ended up going onto Galio, which isn't the greatest place, but it's also a Dark Seal, so you get your 2 stacks there for Jojo, as well as trying to fund the Proto Belt.
Yeah, and EG have a long time in this game, it feels like. We just got the first Dragon now out of T1, so beyond 30 minutes for Dragon Soul if it's going to happen. Hex Gates activate, that's exciting. Somewhere Ox is like jumping up and down, just absurdly happy that this is going on. And now,
Hex map is objectively the best map.
It is, yeah, it's true, actually. It is the best map. You win some, you lose some. Cap gameplay. You both made this one and the Chemtech map. So, you know, bad 50-50.
All right, well, Rift Herald number 2, Phreak. Who's your money on? Gangplank is still bottom, no ultimate, no
T1.
teleport. So,
I think T1's getting this one.
Place your bet wisely.
Is it going to happen? Predictions in the chat. Oof. You could have maybe put the player. I was going to say Oner. I was right. So that's a good start here.
Genius. Predict the jungler on the objective.
I mean, a lot of times they will just like not smite if they have complete control. Yeah. And just like save the charge. But this is pretty much, yeah. Herald charge will just one-shot that turret. So whenever they want, top outer's dead.
I know that second Herald is heavily maligned by the community, but second Herald, when you have a Zoe, well, your Zoe's under attack.
She does have a flash. Doesn't get much of a root going on. A sleep's not going to matter much. This should be a pretty easy taunt. I believe it cannot outflash it, and that should be a kill. He's going to flash, but the ult's going to come along and stun the corpse. Oner goes in to take a 2 versus 3. Is it going to be enough? Jojopyun kicked in the wall and taken out. Keria and Oner indeed getting the revenge kill. Inspired gets away from the stun. Anchor's going to miss. Wouldn't have been a kill. I don't think they win that 2-on-2.
Some damage to set up for Danny, though.
Here. Yes, that is going to be a couple of roots in place. Taric ult is in. They don't burst him in time. But what about round 2? Oner should be locked in place, rooted. They don't get anything more.
This leaves mid wide open. You know, they commit 3 resources from EG to try and defend that. Means mid is wide open for Zeus and Gumayusi. They will get the other outer tower here. This is 2 outer towers now picked up for T1. And again, if you knock down all 3 outers here, Zoe walking around throwing out bubbles becomes such a big problem. But they're going to the source of that problem. Phreak, again, double activation. Goes in with the Nocturne ultimate. Vulcan's here as well for the follow-up. So they use a lot of spells to make sure they get this one. Even saw the Jinx rocket fly by your screens there. And so that means they have nothing left in the aftermath. Oner likes his chances there, uses the ultimate for the extra damage to finish off that kill. And then even in the 2v3, they buy time for the rest of their team to take down that turret.
We can see T1 now heading to the top side. We get quite a bit of action around these 2 mid laners wherever they go. We tend to see ultimates and champions flying along. Vulcan walks through, wards on his way up. Keria gets to take control of the Tri-Brush now as well. And in a 3 versus 2, it's not really a play. EG not going to find a way around this one. So out they walk. Inspired still in base. No ulti up for a couple of seconds. So cannot join. Maybe Impact could have, but again, they choose not to defend that one.
Yeah, I mean, EG, basically your strategy now is to turtle, get as much farm as you can, and then when your globals are up, you look for one counterplay where you smash all your R buttons, you get a pick on one side, and then you retreat to defenses again. Little turtle action here. You poke out your head real quick when you have all your R button, and then right back in the shell. Just farm up at towers, defend until your cooldowns come back up, and hopefully you can get enough money that way, picking T1 members off before this onslaught of Baron threat or Dragon threat becomes too big. The problem is that T1, as we mentioned, with Zoe and the Kalista, have a lot of neutral objective threat, so that Baron threat and that Dragon threat become very real very fast.
It does indeed. For the turtle strat, I think they'd be well versed. Their coaches named it after all, so hopefully EG know what they're doing about this one. But bot lane tier 2 is going to drop 800 gold freshly to the inventories of T1. Thanks. And you can see a 6,000 gold that looks really nice.
Goal for EG is to defend as much as they can while they got Galio take the...
Oh, that kick was pretty good. Oranges, Nocturne flies in, but there's no turret anymore, so Inspired gonna run out of health rapidly and will die. Rocket's gonna land, but Gumayusi staying alive for now. Impact flashes in, finds it. Danny on the way in, but he cannot kill Oner. The shields and heals are too much. Zeus in the chase. Cannot get in the Jojopyun. This should be one back for EG, and they will find their second kill, but Faker's back in on the Danny. Finds a sleep, a nice shield from Galio. Will they get in range for anything else? Faker takes the flashes from the fallen enemies and able to get right back out. 2-1, but up a couple of turrets for T1.
Yep, they exposed the inhibitor and then got really, really anxious to try and punish the split push. They saw Jojo, they saw that Galio on their outer turret on top side and went for the dive. 2 for 1, pretty good for EG. Accumulating some extra money here ahead of the Dragon. 10 seconds, they're all getting up towards Baron instead of towards the Dragon. So wanting to put the extra pressure towards the top side of the map as T1 do send their resources over to collect Dragon.
Yeah, this Dragon, of course, not terribly important. The stats themselves and individual Drakes, not very high. The threat of Soul, again, pretty far away. So instead, nice by Faker, right? Jump over the wall. Where are the wards? What could be going on? Obviously, they have that one ward in the river. Well done, Keria, putting that one down earlier. Make sure it was there in time for the Baron spawn, and EG they'll get some of this river, but not all of it. Faker might steal. He does. Nicely done. Yeah, Spell Shield does not work after the bubble hits you. Doesn't matter too much for Inspired. He's going to be fine, but nice hit by Faker to take it away. Great sleep there, and it's not going to be any follow-through, but this might be not too bad. But, of course, Guma's nearby, so the ulti is forced. You don't burn too hard because he's always safe.
Yeah, that is a decent cooldown forced out there by, nothing necessary here from EG, so some basic ability used to get the Kalista ult down. Don't think T1 are going to sweat too much because of it, though. They'll still move into the Baron River and get all their vision back. This is why it was pretty big that Faker got that steal on the Scuttle Crab. The only non-removable vision that is in the game.
Pretty good pull, nice jump over the wall. They are burning this Baron down rapidly. Red Smite pretty strong. Can they answer in time? EG, okay, here's the TP in for Gangplank. Ult's coming up soon. Inspired turns out the lights. Taric ult's onto 4. Got to disengage. Can you buy time? Stopwatch burn. In they go! 1 and 2. This could be the fight for EG. Looking to knock down the top lane. Zeus drain tanking. A Gale Force works well. Vulcan steps away. Oner should drop a stopwatch, buys time, but this should be a very easy kill. Goes in, and it's a 4 for nothing.
The Jinx, they did it. No way. EG win the fight on Baron. My goodness. Impact does so much work. Phreak, they invested in the comfort. They invested in the Jinx, and again, around Baron, EG get a team fight. They get right back into this one.
And that's going to be Baron falling. No Dragon to pick up, but you've got every single turret available to claim. Danny even kills the Baron.
Impact may have lost the lane, but he wins the team fight. Look at this. Jojo, he teleports in. He gets a stopwatch off just in time, and then the double Nautilus knock up there on top of a big explosion with Barrel plus the rockets from Danny. Then I get a little scared here as Zeus almost able to take down Vulcan, but his stopwatch keeps him alive. He barely walks out. Oner doesn't hit the Q on him, so no EG member loses their life in that fight, and they clean up so hard.
The Inspired stopwatch was so clutch because he basically waited out the entire Taric. It was on everyone, and they got to wait it out.
All 3 of those stopwatches from EG were critical. Jojo's to start it off, then Inspired. Now we've got another attempt.
Is it going to be enough damage, though? I mean, Chunk's down to 1K. Will there be follow-through is the question. Not just yet. Low health, the ult's to get away, but he will still drop. Great kill for T1. Fake gets right back out. Beautifully done. Zeus gets a 1 for nothing.
Yeah, bit aggressive there, and now walking on the bubble. Okay. Isn't going to pay too much for that one. Whew. Got a little excited there. Jojo saw an opportunity to get a chunk onto Zeus and just get the Gwen W down, but stayed around a little bit too long after. Galio, it's nice to get those taunts into your quick combo, but then you are very, very vulnerable. And since he had just used his stopwatch, as we mentioned, critically in that last fight, he had no outs. So good punish from T1 there. They actually take a good amount of time off of your Baron push. And the Baron push is where EG were hoping to regain a lot of this gold. They've got all outer towers up.
You're on a ward, bro. I don't know if he's baiting. Okay.
They're teleporting on it to make sure he can't get out. Inspired will get the fear off.
No ult, no sums. I don't know how he lives through this one. I mean, maybe there's a miracle. He's got a turret nearby, but you have to get the taunt and everything else here. This should be one. And Faker, yeah, plays it from far away, tries to get a little bit of poke.
That's like, I don't even know. Yeah, that was on like some 16 head right there, where you're trying to be really far ahead of them.
Yeah.
Or it was like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
zero.
That's a zero head, right? That's.
I'm trying to imagine what the next steps were that he was calculating in his head while he wasn't looking at a screen.
I mean, yeah, there were steps elsewhere, but he tripped down the stairs. He didn't watch his step, you know? So down he goes. Faker, yep, gonna defend top lane, no problem. Baron timing out. Rebel Baron power play. Only 1,200, in fact. EG lost a fair bit of control after that Baron kill.
I was about to, before that mid-play, set up this Baron as being so critical for EG because they had not gotten any outer turrets in this game. That means there was so much standing gold on the map that a Baron fight win like that for them, even if it's not an objective bounty, should theoretically get you a bunch of extra tower gold, since there's so many exposed, outer turrets here that are pretty low-hanging fruit. Now they've only got 14 seconds on it, though. That's why it was so big that T1 got that kill onto Jojo to stall out on that Baron pushing. That effectively saved T1 an extra outer tower, I would say, and that amount of gold. So all ultimates are available almost here for EG. Jojo's ultimate coming right back up here for the Galio, so they do have the big wombo combo dive to be able to look for the back line. Faker does have flash and Zhonya's, so he becomes a bit more difficult. It's just the shield bow there for Gumayusi for him to rely on. So those are the two carries that they're really looking to burst down.
We got Zeus looking for a bit of a flank play. He's going to be not quite on vision, but now giving this away with the Scryer's Bloom. Says, okay, I know where everyone is. This will be the third dragon for T1. The question is, what does everyone play for? EG could try to overcommit on mid and knock down mid turret. And pressure Gumayusi, not going to find the anchor just yet. Zeus does not get hit by the barrel either. But Impact wants to walk up, 300 damage crit, not bad, a little bit of poke. EG go back down the river. They have control ward in the pit, but not one in the brush. That's actually owned by T1. A nice taunt doesn't mean a whole bunch, though. A little bit of trade back and forth. They're going to be fine. Pretty tanky champion. Oner now on the side. Spots Inspired. And it's going to be 5-on-5. Goes in. Looks for the kick. Gets it. Nicely done. And that could be a deletion. Danny's already gone. Nice spin of time. Bopped by Jojopyun. They trade back the jungler. But will the team fight be one? Inspired dropping. Fierce. Gets betrayed. And look down at Faker. Faker should be attacked. Flash the safety. Still goes down. And now we look at Impact. Down to the brush on the bottom side. Inspired barely staying alive. Zeus in the chase. So looking for Vulcan. Will get the kill. And Impact, can he find anything though? Slowed down by the Drake. Every fourth attack slows. Barrel, got a sidestep. Gumayusi shuts him down. Dragon number 3 for T1. Zeus does so much to the backside. Team fight victory, +1 kill, +1 dragon.
Welcome to the new generation of T1. Impact tries to play right into Gumayusi there. The dragon, extra auto, slow and extra damage. Oner, though, starting this out with a beautiful ward hop into flash kick onto Danny. He uses Inspired as an extra ward to go for the long wraparound onto the EG carry, just assassinating him from the very beginning. From that point, though, EG fight pretty well out of it, and with Inspired being able to live out of the top side, they almost got out of this, with even kill counts and would have to give over the dragon, but then Impact running past the dragon towards Guma with flash gives an extra shutdown over to Gumayusi and into the hands of the Kalista. So that was actually a pretty big mistake, and it still gets T1 2 Dragon Soul point.
The Evil Geniuses licking their ruins off of a 3,000 gold deficit. The LCK's T1 did stumble a couple of times here in the Rumble stage and had the one close call against EG. They did lose a team fight, lost a Baron, but since then have affected themselves, and they've won pretty much everything since then. Dragon's Soul point, 3.5 to go until Hextech Soul. Pretty good with poke. You get the, Zoe Q turns into a slow. Can look pretty good.
Gwen is such a difficult problem for EG to solve right now, too. Their comp is so much dive onto the back line, try and take down T1 carries. But after they do that, then you still have the problem of Gwen to solve, and this is going to get burned down so fast in Fog of War. Oner showing so that they don't think that they're already on Baron. They don't have the jungler in there. Get some vision down now, though. 9,000 health. They've got time to fight it.
All right, no Ren stack, so Nocturne walks in. Galio the same. Here comes the Taric ulti as well. Will they burn down Baron? Looks like they're going to try right now. Inspired. 2K health smite. It's going to go to Evil Geniuses. And I've seen this before. Danny free fires, attacked by Zeus, stays alive. Evil Geniuses in the North River, taking down the enemy team.
The kids are at it again. Phreak, EG right down the mid lane with Baron. They're going to push straight through the T1 base. Only Faker stands between them and the win.
20 seconds on respawns. That's at least inhibitor. Nexus will be a close call. Jojo walks up. Jojo gets the taunt, and they're going to buy a second or two. But Faker will always die there. Down goes Nexus turret. 10 seconds on respawn. I do not believe gives them the Nexus. Middle inhibitor down. 3,000 gold lead. EG's first lead of the game and second Baron.
Let's get it again. Jojo right in there. No hesitation. Goes for the taunt. But really, it's about the dive in. Inspired into the back line. Gangplank ultimate on top of them. They burst down Kalista. There's no rend. And then with the GP damage still ticking on it, he gets the smite. They get the extra damage. And then T1 completely collapse after.
I have to flame Gumayusi. He walked out of Taric ult, Kobe. Just stand next to the other target and become invincible. Nocturne hard dives, the freest kill in the game. You cannot make plays like that on this stage.
Guma has had such a rough tournament. They're going to watch that one back again. Oh my goodness. Hopping out of it. And he goes down right before the rend range.
It's a mistake. That's what happens.
All right.
Mistake.
What do you do after the mistake? How do you get right back into it, though? Now, EG, they're going to clean up. Those outer towers will melt this time around. They're ahead in gold now and pushing hard.
Looking for it now. Danny on comfort. 3.5 items here on the Jinx, and he's getting turret gold. Some of it solo, some of it shared partially. Vulcan could walk back and donate the 550 over. He's going to take his share instead. Wants to maybe get to his next item. On the way towards, I think it's on Anathema's actually. We've already got one. And the GA, so Inspired is a great front line now. Take the reset, 45 seconds, 7,000 gold on the Red Bull Baron power play. Now that did count the kills in the pit because Baron was first, but obviously a huge swing.
And look what that gold has resulted in. This is 4-item crit Gangplank. These are real barrels.
Yeah.
You know, when we've seen multiple times, you know, Zeus played it magnificently, but his build was way lower damage. It was super tanky build. Here we go with the all-in.
Good ulti over the top as well. Not going to find the knockout, but they do get that fear. Rocket hits one, and they're going to get kill one. They're going to get kill two. And a double in for Impact. Zeus, back in the crib with you, buddy. Grandpa Impact is here to play.
That's why you build crit on Gangplank. Impact saying hello to his old team once again. After all this time, he's coming for a T1 Nexus.
And it's going to be a 3 versus 5. The first two invulnerable. Keria locked into place, pulled back, and almost brings a stun back in, but this should be a kill. Keria should drop, and how about the rest? 5v2. Vulcan finds it. Another Zonia's for Faker, but he should die. Nice attempt to get away, 4v2, but there's no wave. So EG may have slightly overplayed. They need to get next wave to come in, and here it is. This should be enough, though. You've still got 5 seconds on Oner. The last 2 turrets, Evil Geniuses will tie T1 in the standings. 4 and 3 with 1-1 head-to-head. Evil Geniuses finally get their first win over a Pool 1 team.
The LCS is here to play.
Kobe, I never doubted them. I want this to be known. I always believed in EG. Cool to see them make this one happen. And they're playing a bit their style. Back in the Jinx, no one's playing it. Danny makes it look good.
They were very clear that this MS